What up, YouTube? It's your boy Ziggy Doom, man. Here we are with another podcast. We keep these things going, man. I try to get them as, like I always tell y'all, I try to get them as often and routine as I can, but life always happens. I had a lot to do. I had to fix a couple of sinks at my house, and they had this windy weather, blew out one of my windows pretty much, so got to deal with that. Had to get my passport renewed. I ain't traveled abroad in a while, and a friend hit me up. I was like, "Hey, you should travel overseas, come hang out or something." And I was like, "Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea." So had to get my passport renewed, and I got my new glasses. I went to this one of those places where it's like 2 for $69. I think they call it like Vision Mart or whatever. Well, anyway, you go in there and you pay like $79 and you get a free eye exam and glasses. And y'all, let me just tell you right now, it's not no $69, $79, especially if you go to Stanton Optical. Do not go to Stanton Optical if you want to pay $79 for a free eye exam and glasses. I got what my frames paid for through my insurance. I still ended up paying out of pocket, and my glasses total with the eye exam was about $305. So that free eye exam lens is $79. That's a scam. Do not do it. But I did have to get some more glasses because I am legally blind. I can't see nothing. I ain't got my glasses on because the light hits the glasses and it messes with the green screen. So I can't really, I'm looking at blur right now. Y'all probably see me as normal, but I'm looking at blur when I'm looking at this camera. All right. So this podcast, man, I want to talk about two things. I was watching TikTok, and this girl, she was talking about ratchet in the Black community and how we accept it versus no other communities accepting it. And I thought about that. I was like, she has a point. We in the Black community are the only community that I'm aware of that just accepts ratchetness. What I mean by that is, we all know what ratchet is, right? Just ghetto, unruly, unkempt, all that. Wow, right? We know Bad Girls Club, them crazy reality TV shows where the girls just get on there and fight, and people for whatever reason watch it. That's what I mean by ratchet. And all communities have their ratchet, right? You have some white people that have a couple of ratchets here and there, Asian people, Mexicans, but Black people, we are the only community where ratchetness has a safe haven. What I mean by that is there's a group of us that just accepts ratchetness, like a group that just everybody's ratchet and everybody accepts it. You go to Asians, right? You got some ratchet Asians and whatever, but the Asians don't accept that. They look at those few random ratchet people like, man, they crazy. Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? We push you away. But Black people, we accept that. We embrace it. And I mean, safe to say, ratchetness probably started from us. It had to. We embrace it. You can go somewhere and everybody's just being completely ratchet, loud, unruly for no reason at all. And it's just accepted. Girl, this or bro that or whatever, and we accept it. And I don't like doing the community thing. I don't like doing the race comparisons or whatever, but I still have to call a spade a spade. And Black people accept ratchetness. There's a safe haven for it more so in our community or our culture than others. And I just don't understand it. Like, why do you have to be that way, right? If you want the long nails, the outrageous hair, all that stuff, that's fine. But why do you have to behave a certain way? Oh, I'm finna act a fool. I'm finna be loud. I'm finna be belligerent. And then it just gets accepted. I can't stand ratchetness. If you loud, if you just flamboyant, excessively just drawing attention to yourself, oh no, I don't play that. You're gonna get ignored from me. It ain't nothing cute, appealing, attractive about ratchetness to me. If you loud, first of all, if you loud, you gotta go. I don't like all that loud stuff. Like, you mean to tell me you can't sit down and have an indoor conversation without being loud? You got to talk loud just because. Well, that's who I am. Okay, well, to the left. But we accept it, man. We do. And I guess my question is why? Why do we accept it? Why do we have a safe haven for ratchetness? Why can't we push the ratchet people away? Like, yeah, I'm, you know, to the left. Why we can't do that? Other cultures do it. You're not going to see a safe haven for ratchet Asians or ratchet white people. You just not. And if there is, I mean, tell me about it. Leave it in the comments. But we do that, man. And it's so, I mean, when she said that, I was like, wow, she makes a really good point. Pretty interesting. So that's why I'm sharing it. And her as a woman saying it, it hits harder because she is a woman versus me saying it. And it may seem like I'm being, misogynistic or whatever. But I mean, it's my opinion. I don't like ratchet. I don't. There's no place for it. Where in the world can you be ratchet and thrive? Now, VH1 and MTV or whatever these reality TV, they exploited it. They said, wait a minute, we got a bunch of black people that's going to act weird and crazy and foolish, and we can make money off of it. And if you see those bad girl club lines where the girls just lining up to audition, man, it's crazy. You got like hundreds of women just, and they even acting ratchet in line because I guess they hoping that when the camera go past them, it'll see they ratchet and it'll move them up further in the line. That is unacceptable to me. That's crazy. Like, what are we doing, man? I'm gonna just act ratchet. It's crazy. It is. And people watch it. It ain't so much as the people that do it because you going on TV, you getting paid, act a fool, okay, they paying you. But people that watch it, you ain't even getting paid for it. Why are you watching ratchet? Why do you enjoy ratchet? Like you're enabling a negative stereotype for black people. And that's what it is. When you watch that, when you engage, you're saying, hey, I like watching black people act complete fools on the TV. That's what I get for enjoyment. Out of all the types of ways I can get enjoyment, that is my form of enjoyment. Watching black people, ratchet people, I don't want to say black. Got to be careful with this internet. Ratchet people act a fool in a house. I can't wait to go home and watch Bad Girls, Bitty Girls, or something like that. Really? I don't understand it. I'm not saying it's wrong, once again, but I don't understand it. Somebody help me understand this ratchetness. Y'all already know how I feel about excessive weave and excessive makeup. Y'all already know how I feel about it. I don't care. I don't like it. If you can't walk outside with everything natural on you and be okay, you gotta turn into a whole nother person, transform in a whole nother person. And maybe it's to make yourself feel better. Maybe you look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm not attractive. I think I'm not appealing. Let me turn into a whole nother person and make me feel good about myself. So when I go outside, if you got to do that, okay, whatever. That's just not my cup of tea. I've been pro all natural forever. Ask anybody that's ever dated me, they'll tell you I don't like the excessive stuff. If you want to put on a couple of things to accentuate your appearance, okay, but when you got to go full weave, full 3 pounds of makeup, nails this long, clothes just not just revealing everything, you got to make sure you're the loudest person when you go out. Nah, I'm good. So, but yeah, man, ratchet. I don't see where there's a place for it in our society. I don't see why we have a safe haven for it. And I don't understand it. Now, anybody out there in the YouTube internet world want to explain it to me to where I can say, oh, okay, that's an interesting point of view. I'm not going to agree with you. I'm not going to ever embrace ratchetness, but I do like to get other points of views. I do have some friends that are a little ratchet, especially when they drink. They get a little ratchet, but I don't entertain them. I don't when they doing that ratchet stuff. But yeah. Maybe we all have a little bit of ratchetness in our DNA somewhere. I don't know. But I don't play that. I ain't with all that foolishness, man. I ain't got to draw attention to myself in public. And I don't know. I don't get it. Teach their own. But yeah, she made a good point, man. We do embrace ratchetness. We do. moving right along, because I don't want to beat that dead horse. I want to talk about tough love, and generational trauma. Um, there's no perfect way to parent. Let me say that there's no perfect way to parent. Okay, everybody parents different. Bam, there it is. But what is it about um, hitting our kids excessively that somehow translates to them growing up and being a better person? How many times have you heard, I'm glad I got beat when I was a kid because that made me grow up and be a better person? Or the problem with these kids nowadays is that they don't get beatings. They ain't getting whoopings or beatings or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, coming from beatings and that kind of stuff, I'm telling you now, it did not make me grow up and be who I am today to be a better person. There is nothing about none of the whoopings, beatings, spankings I ever got that I grew up and said, wow, I'm glad that happened to me because now I know this and now I know that. It did in my case, it did the exact opposite. It made me resent or fear the person that was doing it. That's all it did. Now I understand some of my whoopings. I understand. Notice I said whoopings because whoopings and beatings are two different things. Some of my whoopings I understand. None of my beatings I understood. I didn't understand why I got any of the beatings that I can remember. I don't understand why they happened. But when we do certain things, right, growing up, this is where generational trauma starts because tough love can come from generational trauma. When we grow up a certain way, right? Whether it's a two-parent household, one-parent household, but we're taught a certain thing or we're shown certain things in the house, whether it's wrong or right. You know, going to church every Sunday, celebrating Easter, eating family dinners every night. You know, we're taught certain things. Now, when we're abused or neglected, that teaches us too. Not in a good way though, but it teaches us something. So for example, I used to have to watch my auntie open Christmas presents, right? And celebrate her birthday and all that. And I didn't get any of that, right? So at some point doing that when I was younger, I had a resentment towards my auntie. I was like, wait a minute, why does my auntie, we were around the same age, I know y'all, it's my auntie, but she was like a year older than me. Why does my auntie get all this stuff? And I have to watch her. I have to engage. I have to celebrate it with her birthday and her Christmas gift. But I don't get anything. So it built some resentment in me. You know, why am I getting beat by my family members? Family members are supposed to protect you and be close. At least that's what I thought. So when I grew up, all that taught me was to not care about celebrating holidays. I don't care about any of that birthday holiday. I don't care, and I don't trust people. That's what that taught me. I don't trust people. Now, what happened? What happened with me? Now I have children, right? So my generational trauma affects them because I don't celebrate holidays. You know, I didn't really make that a big priority for them. You know, I didn't make them, you know, hey, we always got to celebrate this holiday and that holiday. So now they don't really care for holidays, you know, and I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but I'm just trying to give you an example of generational trauma. So because, you know, certain family members abused me, that caused me to not trust people, you know, and it caused me to be overprotective of my kids because I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. And that caused me to be overprotective of them. And I don't trust people. The problem with that is when you become overprotective, you can hinder your child from going out into the world and being independent. And that comes directly from my trauma. And that's how generational trauma goes. You know, whatever happened to my dad, how he was raised and neglected, whatever, and how that translated to how he raised me, and that translates to how I raised my kids. It's generational trauma. And it's a real thing. Some people will deny it. Some people will deny, oh, there ain't nothing wrong. You just got to do this. You got to do that. You got to pray or something like that. No, it's a real thing. And it's an uncomfortable topic. And in our community, once again, Black people, in our community, we probably the least likely to talk about abuse and traumas that happened with us growing up, right? Whether it's a shame thing or it's a pride thing, we don't really discuss it. So we figure if we don't say nothing about it, it will just go away. And that's not how trauma works. It doesn't go away. But it is a real thing. Now, I don't hit my kids at all because when I grew up, every time I got hit, every time I got beat, it didn't make sense to me because I don't think you can beat somebody that you care about. And I understood my whoopings, because I wasn't a good kid, y'all. Come on, I broke rules, whatever. So I understood why I got whooped, but in my head, it's like, but could there have been a better way to do this? Could the person that whooped me have done this a way without putting their hands on me? And my answer to that is yes. But see, this is where people get it really confused, right? How do you know when you're whooping your child out of discipline or out of anger and frustration? I've talked about this before, but people don't really be listening. They just, oh, Ziggy made another video. Let me go watch Bad Girl Club instead. How do you know you're whipping your kid out of anger or out of frustration or out of discipline? Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I got a couple kids' mothers, and I have seen them hit my children. Not all of them, okay? Not all of them. I've seen some of them hit our children definitely out of anger. I've seen it because when you've had a bad day or you're going through something bad, a day at work, whatever, and then your kid does something, now you're taking all that anger and frustration out on your child. And how do you know that you're not doing it? How do you know in your head, oh, I'm only whipping them because they knocked the cup over and spilled milk on the floor? Not, well, I had a bad day at work and my friend, I found out she lied on me and I can't pay this bill and that bill and my 15th boyfriend left me, whatever. And now the kid walking the door and spilling milk. Now all your anger and frustration is going to transfer to that kid. You can't tell me you can whoop that kid that spilled that milk and hold back the other stuff that happened. Your boyfriend, your 15th boyfriend leaving you, your job firing you, or your friend lying on you. You can't. So if you can't tell the difference between, or you don't know how to separate it, then how do you know you're not beating your child? And if you're emotionally unstable, you can forget it. You can forget it. If you are emotionally unstable, forget about trying to convince me that you know how to properly discipline your child physically. No. And I'm gonna just say there's some people that are emotionally unstable that I know that have kids. You shouldn't be hitting your kid if you're emotionally unstable. Figure something else out. But see, this is the problem. We don't have enough patience to try to figure out alternative ways to chastise our children other than the belt or the hand or the fist or whatever. That's a you flaw. That's a you problem. That ain't the child problem. That's a you problem. See, when people have kids and bring kids into the world, they don't really factor in all these things. They just say, oh, I'm a human. I can have a kid. I can take care of a kid. Why? Because you can make one? No, just because you can make a kid don't mean you know how to take care of a kid. You're supposed to, once again, for you naysayers, there's no perfect way to parent. But I just think when you have a child, you should try to provide for that child and give that child a better life than you had. If you can't give that child a better life than you had, then you probably shouldn't have that child. That makes sense to me. Just my opinion. If you looking in the mirror like, wait a minute, I don't have nothing. I'm emotionally unstable. I come from a violent past. Maybe I shouldn't have a kid. Maybe I should wait till I'm a little bit more emotionally, financially, mentally stable. But don't nobody do that. Because that's what everybody gonna say. Well, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. No, you're not. Because if you think it's okay to have a child and you can't adequately take care of that child, something wrong with you. Something. And Lord Jesus, it's not so much as putting a roof over their head, clothes on their back, food on their table. It doesn't end there. Because what are they learning? They're learning that you're a provider. But are you leading by example? Are you teaching them things, helping them, having conversations, interacting with them? Do they enjoy being around you? Can they trust having conversations with you? You know, things like that. People look in the mirror, I'm a good parent. They posted videos, you know, on the holidays, pictures with their kids for the holiday, and then the rest of the year they ain't doing nothing with their kid. But that one holiday, hey, here go the pictures. And it fools the world because people look at their social media and be like, wow, you're an awesome parent. God-fearing, decent, stable. Nah. And see, that's what the camera won't show. Sometimes when people turn the cameras off, it's a totally different thing. Totally different from what's behind the camera and what's in front of it. I try to be as authentic as possible. Everything on my internet is public. All my socials is public. Ain't no private nothing. Anybody want to call me out, say, man, Ziggy, you ain't do this, or you ain't do that, or you did this, you do it. Feel free. I can talk about anybody in real life that I know. I can talk about my brothers, my sisters, my kids' mothers, my coworkers, my kids. And it's the same thing I'm gonna say to them in real life. And everybody, they know this. There's no filter. I don't turn this camera off and then pull my hair, just like these are fake locks or something, or I'm wearing shorts. Well, I'm not finna stand up. Y'all don't need to know if I'm wearing shorts or not. The camera ain't even down there. Mind your business. But I'm just saying, tough love is something that can create generational traumas. And it don't even have to be a trauma, right? It could be a something that has good intentions, but may not be the best course of action. For example, people that go to church, right? My grandmother went to church every Sunday. My great-grandmother went to church every Sunday. My mom went to church every Sunday. I'm gonna go to church every Sunday. Okay, that's fine, but why? Why are you doing it? Because they did it? Or because you want to do it? You know? Is that a thing? Like, well, my great-grandmother did it, my grandmother did it, my mama did it, I'm going to do it. Is that the real reason why you do it? Because if that's the only reason, you might want to reevaluate. You might want to say, why am I doing this? You know, well, we always did it this way. My Tanisha's grandmother, she would cook like bacon, and like they would use the grease from the bacon to fry French fries and stuff. And I guess that was a cheaper way of making using grease. But I'm like, man, that has to be loaded with cholesterol. You're taking pig fat and frying chicken in it. Wow. But that's the way they've always done it. And that's like a normal thing for them. I was just like, man, you know, that's pretty wild, but that's just one example, you know, and it's not a wrong or right. It's just one of those, well, we always did it this way, you know. If I could distill in my kids one thing, man, and nothing else, if I could really distill in my kid, I would always want them to challenge or question anything they do. If they do something that's routine or commonplace or whatever, why? Why do you do it? You know, don't just do it because you saw me do it, or because you see it on TV, or because your friends do it, or even because your siblings do it. If you're doing it, why? Just challenge it. Why are you doing it? And then if you don't even know why you're doing it, maybe you should stop. Does it even make sense? And that's comes from generational. It ain't got to be generational trauma. It's just what we see in our household, because it all starts from the house. I'm a firm believer in that. When we send our children out into the world, that product is from what's in the house. If you got a kid out there ripping and running and breaking laws and cursing and doing drugs, it started from the house. You're not finna tell me some little kid was being racist in school and then his parents got to come up there and they like, I don't know where he gets it from. No, you do know where he get it from. Smoking, drinking, cursing. Come on, man. Having inappropriate conversations with your friends while your kids are in the car. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Our kids pick up on everything more than what we think. Trust me. They do. They see us doing something and they might try to emulate it. So they pick up on what we do. So we got to do something, man. It can't always be about us. It can't be about woe is me. What about my feelings? What about my circumstance? What about my situation? We got to try first. We got to try to get to our kids. We got to address them first. We have to. We have to try. We have to make sure we've tried and exhausted every option. And if we do that and they still just, the light ain't coming on, okay. Now you can at least look in the mirror and say, I tried. But if you just doing a bare minimum, oh, well, I got a crib, so I'm gonna pay the bills at the crib and they gonna get up and get themselves dressed and make their own food and go to school. Yeah. Because once our kids can't trust us, once they can't trust us to protect them and to support them, once they can't do that, they're gonna shut down. They're not gonna come to us no more. They're not. Hey, I came to you with a problem and you totally ignored it. Or you said, well, what do you want me to do about it? Or you still hang with the person that did the bad thing to me. Okay, I'm shutting down from you. That's it. I can't trust you. Once our kids can't trust us, it's over. Because now they finna go straight to the streets. And how well do the streets teach kids to be model citizens and decent people? Just something to think about, man. And these are my opinions, y'all. These are my opinions. These are uncomfortable topics, but it's something that we should talk about. Now, these are the type of conversations I have where a lot of people don't really care. The people that really need to hear this, that I'm talking about in real life, they not even gonna watch it. They not gonna watch it. And that's fine. But if I still put it out into the world, you know, somebody picks up on it, hey, I'm good with that. Like I said, I don't do this stuff for views and fame. I do it because I enjoy it. I like to talk where I'm not being interrupted and people can listen. That's how my podcast go. Being a loner or whatever. So can we prevent generational trauma? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's because even whatever you do with your child, if you had some traumas, it may have a role in how you raise your kids. If your daddy did everything for you and you didn't have to worry about nothing at all, how you gonna tell your kid to fend for themselves and live on their own? How? Your dad take care of you, cut your grass, do all it, and how you gonna tell your kid, oh, you gotta take care of yourself? But your dad taking care of you. Never mind. That's not the here nor there, YouTube. But we tough love is ridiculous. I don't even think that should even exist. Tough love. What? Why not just love? Why can't just be love? Why gotta be tough love? So I don't know. And my generational traumas definitely affect me. You can definitely see I don't trust nobody. I don't even like people. I don't really like social gatherings. I know how to socialize, but I don't like being around a lot of people. And certain groups of people, I really don't like being around because I'm not with all that excessive extra stuff. I'm just trying to work, pay my bills, and take care of my 1,400,000 children and leave them something and try to leave the world better than I found it. That's all I'm trying to do, y'all. But that's it for this podcast, man. I ain't done no music in so long. I put out a couple songs. If y'all want to listen to them, they're on my channel. I might upload them to SoundCloud. My album, I'm still gonna do it. I probably have to push it back. So that's just how these things go. The movie that the series that I'm in, Duster, with J.J. Abrams, I don't know when they gonna put that out. I mean, I didn't know editing and post-production takes so long, but sometimes stuff goes through what is called development hell, and it's a nightmare. So we'll see. That was a project I did, I think, like 2 years ago now. But we'll see if y'all gonna see me on the streaming services or whatever. But that's it for this one, man. Thank y'all for watching, man. I don't like to do the thumbs up thing, like, share, subscribe, but YouTube algorithms, they I don't know what they do to me. They got me way at the bottom somewhere. So if y'all like my content, man, be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. Please comment. I don't mind. I'm not gonna take offense to anything. You know, say what you want to say, and we'll go from there. You don't have to always agree with me, because that would be pointless. But say what you want to say, man. Have some dialect. It help me understand rachetness. Help me understand, or give me some insight on it, because I ain't gonna ever understand it. Give me some insight on it, so I'm like, oh, okay. Still don't make sense to me, but I guess I see why it makes sense to you. But that's it, man. Till the next YouTube video, be easy.